Hi everyone, it's Dan here from Flexxable, and today we're going to talk about Facebook audiences and what to do now the iOS dust has settled. Let's get stuck in. All right, so let's briefly give a summary of what happened in 2021. And I'm a pretty the way I look at things is pretty simple. All right, and I want to simplify what happened in 2021 so you can kind of get a picture of what you need to focus on. All right, so what happened with the iOS is that you see what happens inside Facebook, and then you see what happens outside Facebook. All right, what happens inside Facebook, not too much to worry about, all right, as a general rule of thumb. What happens outside of Facebook is that we lost the ability to be able to track well, and that could be anything from landing page views to time on site to conversion events. All of the stuff that we used to use to be able to really get the Facebook algorithm to fly off the back of what was happening on your funnel has pretty much been decimated. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what your different options are and how you can squeeze more juice out of the audiences. Let's look at the first audience today that we're going to talk about, and that is lookalike audiences. So back in the day, these were the gold for us. The days of getting a 1% lookalike audience, which was millions of people based upon people that converted on your website, was like gold dust. All right, the algorithm just works so well, and at times it was so easy to be able to generate leads if you had a good offer and a good funnel, right? But what happened with iOS is, as I was saying before, anything that happens offsite isn't as reliable, and they can be a lot more hit and miss based on what we were seeing pre-iOS, which means that we have to work with Facebook and be able to generate lookalike audiences based on what is inside their platform. So there's a few things you can do to combat what's happened and the problems that you're having now with these hit and miss lookalike audiences. The first thing is we'd recommend starting with creating lookalike if you are running video ads based off video engagement. All right, people have watched a certain amount of a video inside Facebook. That's powerful, and that's still working because you're keeping it inside the Facebook platform. All right, another really good trick that you should try is, and it's been done before loads of times, but I think we got a bit lazy when we were able to optimize off conversion events. Go back to the old school way of getting a big database of all of the leads that are generated over all of the time, and upload them via an Excel spreadsheet into Facebook's platform, because then you've got real data to Facebook to optimize on, not kind of dodgy iOS data that's hit or miss. Does that make sense? Let's talk a little bit about interest-based targeting, okay? And this traditionally for us was, not a huge part of our audience targeting when we were running leads. All right, we used to either run, really big lookalike audiences or really big broad audiences. All right, but things have changed a little bit. In 2022, interest targeting is going to be pretty big, in my opinion. All right, but before I get into what to do, I need to caveat something, and I should have done it at the start of this video. It doesn't matter what your interest targeting is. It doesn't matter if lookalikes work or broad audiences work, or you have the best overlapped interest lookalike combination in the world. If you do not have an offer that converts and you can't create ads that generate intrigue, and you're able to really get low CPCs, and you're able to push great creatives and a great offer, then it doesn't really matter what you're doing. All right, so please bear that in mind and work on your offer, your hooks, your angles into the market, and get them singing before you even try and scale with stuff that you don't know works. But if we're talking about interest targeting, the reason why it's going to be good in 2022, and we've seen this with our own ads running for Flexxable. Okay, we used to target lookalikes mainly, but what happened is we saw a direct drop off in our cost per lead and our conversion rates with these audiences. And then we moved over to interest targeting, and things just really started humming for us again. And the reason that this is because of the same thing I was talking about before. A lot of the interest-based audiences are built around people's interaction inside the platform, on the platform. All right, and that could be not only just the Facebook app and their website. It could also be Instagram, or it could be what's happening inside WhatsApp, which they own, right? So it makes sense logically for you to get better results off what Facebook know about people based off what's happening inside their kind of properties, I guess. All right, so that's why I think it's a good idea. But if you are starting out with a kind of new ad account, a new pixel, new landing page, new funnel, all of that type of stuff, then what we'd recommend doing is you can go with a broad interest, okay, a very broad interest, and then you can overlap that with a more targeted interest to be able to get more highly targeted people that you think relate to your offer and your hook and your creative, and that's a really good way to get started. And then if you get more than 500 leads with that overlapped audiences, then you can start scaling and become a bit more broad with your audiences. All right, I hope that helps. Let's move on to the next one. Our third kind of strategy with audiences that I want to talk to you about today is custom audiences. And I touched on this quickly before, but it's very important you get these dialed in and you get it done properly, because it's these kind of custom audiences that we create our lookalikes off, that we create our retargeting sequences off, and all that type of valuable stuff. So you want to make sure that if you are heavily focused on custom audiences, you get stuff done right. And there's a few different ways you can do that. The first one is you want to make sure that you use the Facebook conversion API. And this is, I'm glad it's not me that's doing it, put it that way. One of my staff members is doing it, and it really is, we've got a complete guide to that. I can probably point to that here. Is that right, Graham? Yeah, I'll point it here, and we've got a full guide on how you can do that and get it set up. And that is really important, because if you're creating a custom audience off bad data, then obviously the results aren't going to be very good. So try your best to be able to get that installed, and any custom audience that you build, it comes off really good, the Facebook conversion API. Does that make sense? So the next little kind of custom audience hack that we have been doing is also using offline events, and to simplify what this looks like. All right, say you're running ads for yourself. You're an agency and you're running ads to be able to land more clients. All right, and you're getting 100 leads a month or whatever. Okay, if you're trying to optimize off what Facebook's telling you, then it's not going to be as valuable as if you do this little hack where you're able to take the leads that are generated for your agency and put them into your CRM, which could be something like Active Campaign or High Level or whatever you use, and then be able to zap that information back into the Facebook API or the Facebook Ads Manager, which will allow you to have real data to be able to optimize off. It's quite powerful. And the last one is old school, all right? If you do, if you're running if you just landed a big client that's got 6 years worth of conversions in their CRM, and you can ask them to share that CSV file with you and upload that into Facebook, then guess what? You're going to be off to the races pretty quickly. So I don't think there's too much more to say than that. If you can get your hands on good data from a client or from your own CRM, upload them using an Excel spreadsheet, CSV file, whatever that is, and it should work great. Still. Okay, so if I can summarize today based on today's video and what I've shared with you, there's a couple of things you want to take away. Well, there's 3 things, all right? The first thing is always creative is king. I keep banging on about that. But if you can't get your offer dialed in, you can't come up with good hooks or angles into your market, and you do things wrong, you're never going to make all of this stuff work. So focus on that first, all right? Work on your offer. But if you've got that dialed in, then we would recommend, and this is what we're doing inside our own agency, is probably doubling down with interest-based targeting, because we know that Facebook's got a bit more control over that, and it seems to be working well for us in 2022. And if you are going to use lookalike audiences, a really good thing you can do is to be able to base them off, and you're running video ads, 50% plus video views. All right, so discard anything below 50%, create your lookalikes off based on the data, the 50% plus that Facebook shows you. That should work well for you. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you want us to create more content like this, then please give us a like. If you've got questions about interest targeting and all the stuff we've spoken about today, please comment in the comment box. And lastly, if you want to get the first to know about content like this in the future, please subscribe to our channel. Much appreciated. And lastly, if you're listening to this video and you're freaked out because I've just gone into all this tech stuff about audiences and it's complicated, plus you've also got to do conversion rate optimization, SEO, landing page design, websites, Google Analytics, copywriting, all that stuff for your clients, and you're not getting paid enough, then let me talk to you about performance-based marketing. I've got a game plan on how you can escape all that crap over here and move to a much simpler business model. There'll be a link somewhere. Click it and enjoy. Thank you.